Here's a movie I bet you've never even heard of. Do you remember the Cannonball Run? No? Cannonball Run was a movie that starred Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, and a bunch of other cheesy comedy action stars. And it was a comedy. It's about the transcontinental road race that takes, not like the death race, but it takes you from Washington, D.C. to, I think, Malibu, something like that. Comedies, of course. They featured big ensemble casts, mostly kind of like a lot of driving scenes and driving humor. Car chases were huge in the 70s and 80s. Kind of, Dukes of Hazzard, Smokey and the Bandit, cashing in on that, but at the same time giving you new stars and cool cars. And yeah, it is what it was. And Cannonball Run, it was okay. It was a good time filler for me as a kid. So there was Cannonball Run 1 and 2. This is Speed Zone, also known as Cannonball Run 3 or Cannonball Fever or something like that. This one is dated 1989. Yeah, and it's 96 minutes long, and it's awful. I can't hold it any longer. This is the third installment in the Cannonball universe, I guess you could say. It's very different from those first two because they didn't get Burt Reynolds, they didn't get even Jackie Chan was in there. Dom DeLuise is nowhere to be found, thank God, I hate that guy. Yeah, this one had lesser known stars, the humor was a little more subdued. I mean, you did still get the Smothers Brothers. But one of the reasons that I actually got this movie, I think I paid $1 for it, was that I saw the cast includes John Candy, Eugene Levy, and it doesn't say it on here, but also Joe Flaherty, all from SCTV. Canadian. Hey, there's a bunch of Canadians in this. Yeah, and Peter Boyle is in it. Like, I guess he's probably the biggest star that's in it. Donna Dixon from, like, a bunch of stuff. I think she was, like, Dan Aykroyd's wife. So, yeah, like I said, this is terrible. I've never been one, really, for the car chase movies. But, back in the day, I guess I thought Smokey and the Bandit was pretty cool, because I did see those movies. Also, I guess I watched a little bit of Dukes of Hazzard, but that was the kind of thing that I really outgrew, was these fast car racing movies, with the exception of Death Race 2000, of course. Still love that movie. But anyway, car stunts and car chase, car crash movies are just not my thing. And they're like, when they play that stuff in this movie, it's like, just goes by. It's not really amusing. It's just like, oh, there's a car jumping a ramp. There's a car jumping over a moving train. There's a, car backing up and doing donuts. Or who cares? It's just a car chase. Like, that does nothing for me. I'm sorry. But, like I said, John Candy, Eugene Levy, they play off each other, actually. Their two characters interact quite a bit in this movie. And they're really the main story of this movie. And they are not terrible. They're Canadian. And I'm used to seeing these guys and seeing them act. I mean, their storyline is dull and, like, pointless. But I do like John Candy. And I do like Eugene Levy and Joe Flaherty. And all three of those guys are actually pretty good in here, but the movie that's built around them, or that they're inserted into, probably at like the last minute because all the American stars didn't want to sign on, so they're like, oh, these Canadian guys are pretty popular right now. SCTV did pretty well on TV, and, Bob and Doug, hey, people love Canadians, so let's stick them in there. So, even with those three actors that I like, I found very, very little to... Nothing made me laugh in this entire movie. Let's see. I gotta confess, though, I missed a good, 30 minutes of this movie because I just fell asleep. It was boring as crap because, like I said, it's just a bunch of cars chasing after each other and a few slapstick jokes here and there that are really not very funny at all. And then, the Smothers Brothers. Like, come on, man. This is almost the 90s. And you're going to throw the Smothers Brothers at us? You think they're going to make us laugh? No. I don't even want to tell you the plot of it, because who cares? It's a road race. But the basics of it are this. All the actual cannonball drivers get arrested in the beginning of the movie. So they have to find replacement drivers. And the people that they find are all these crazy misfits and weirdos and whatever. It's dumb, and it's just a big car chase. And it's not worth it for me. So I don't... Is it really fair for me to give this a grade? Because I didn't technically see the entire movie. Well, I saw enough of it to know that this, to me, is a D minus. Don't see this. It's not worth it. I mean, the whole reason for me doing this review is so that you don't have to bother watching this. I mean, I suppose if you want to see like a real train wreck of a movie that was kind of like slapped together and a paycheck for a bunch of washed up comedy actors, and you get what you pay for, right? Yeah, surprisingly, this movie got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I don't put a lot of stock in what Rotten Tomatoes usually says about a movie, but 0%, that seems pretty harsh. I mean, this movie does suck, and it's boring, but it doesn't offend me. It's not like so terrible that, oh my god, I wish I'd never wasted my time. At least I know what it's about. At least I know now that I'm probably never going to watch it again. But 0%? Dude, that's harsh.